Welcome everybody to Inside Asian Gaming's Trade Talk. My name is Ben Blaschke, Managing Editor of IAG, and with ICE London 2023 just around the corner, super excited to be talking to Stuart Hunter, the Managing Director of Clarion Gaming. Stuart, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Ben. Nice to be here. Thanks for staying up late and getting the time to make the interview.
No problem at all. We're on different sides of the world at the moment, but I'm definitely looking forward. The last time I travelled to Europe, obviously, was ICE London 2020, just before COVID. It's been an interesting few years since then. First of all, Stuart, just to be preparing for an ICE London without all the uncertainty you've had the past few years must be a nice feeling.
Yeah, it is, but we're still, it's been cautious preparation because I guess the last 3 years have taught all of us that no one really knows what's around the corner. So thankfully, we are under definitely different conditions, much more improved than it was this time last year. Certainly going into Christmas last year, most of the time I was thinking about, moving the show and if we could move it and if we could, where would we move it to? So we're definitely in a completely different situation now, which is great. It's really positive. We have had less planning time after running the show in April, a few months less. And I know, people always think, is that the only thing you do every year is run one event? What else do you do with your time? But these things do take a lot of preparation. It's like a giant puzzle putting together. So, we're in a really good position. We've got a good few weeks before we take a little break over Christmas. So there's a lot of work to be done. Everyone's super busy, but we're really excited. And I think thankfully the conditions look optimum really for having a great show in a month and a bit.
Well, ICE London is it's a bit of a behemoth, of course. Everybody knows it's the largest gaming trade show in the world. It's a hugely important show for the industry. Back in full force in 2023, early February, of course. What can attendees expect from next year's show?
Yeah, I think, obviously the last iteration of ICE in its full force was 2020, as you said. So that'll be 3 years really since we had a full-scale ICE, which is been a long time, and those 3 years have obviously been challenging. So we're excited to, first of all, bring a full-scale ICE back, which is great. I think we had a really, really great April show this year, but as you know, it's been well documented. It was certain brands and sectors, predominantly land-based, for lots of really good reasons actually, weren't present. So we put on a show for those customers that wanted it, needed it at the time, and I think that was a great experience. And actually, the thrill of being back together was totally the right thing to do. So we were really pleased with that event. But now we're getting back to full strength, all geos, all sectors, a full spread. It'll be definitely the biggest ICE show we've ever run. So we're really grateful that everyone's shown that loyalty and kind of put their energy and enthusiasm into making it a big show. So there's a really broad spectrum of products and sectors that you can see there. I think we're just finishing our analysis and this is the feedback that we get from our customers, but looking probably somewhere in the realms of about 3,000 product launches at ICE, which is really significant in the sense that ICE has always been a platform for new products, for exclusives, I guess. But you never quite know where the industry is going to be after the last few years. But actually, there's been huge amounts of evolution, really, and lots of focus towards making sure that ICE is that platform to showcase what's new. So I think people won't be disappointed. There's lots of new innovation there, lots of great new content. All the big brands that people maybe missed in April are back, which is really exciting, and a real varied mix of content and education and lots of new experiences, really. So we've kind of thrown everything at it. We know this is the big show back. We need to make an impact. So we've kind of looked at under every stone and made sure that every part of that journey for all our customers, both exhibitors and attendees, is the best it can be. So we can't wait just to get there and get it started now.
Yeah, of course, as you mentioned, a smaller show last year simply because travel was so difficult for so many people. But talking to exhibitors about, coming back this year, as you said, in full force, what's the exhibitor response been so far about the return of, the real ICE this year?
Yeah, I think, look, they were really supportive of us when we had all the challenges this time last year. And I'd like to think that we were really supportive for them, really. We had very open and honest conversations, and it was like, look, we want to put a show on because the vast majority of our customers, both buyers and sellers, want an ICE show to happen. And some were saying, look, we need an ICE show to happen. It got to that point. So we made a decision, and we were open to say, look, if it can't work for you in these new dates, or you're not ready to travel, or you've got, you're still coming back and recovering after COVID, then that's no problem. We'll roll your bookings over to the time when you're ready. And thankfully, everyone's ready for 23, and the support and the excitement that's building from all those big brands that weren't there, and the brands that were there, to be honest, of kind of seeing a full ICE in flow is really exciting. So you hear in the background, for apologies, that's my washing machine telling me that it's finished its cycle, if you can hear it. But we're really excited. I think there's been that full support and real excitement to get everyone back in a full sector experience.
In terms of what Clarion's presenting for visitors this year, what are some of the new and enhanced sort of features that people can expect this year?
So something that we launched. There's a couple of there's probably 3 new initiatives that I'll really quickly cover on. One is our My Ice program. So when we were designing ICE in April of this year, it was the first opportunity for a couple of years for people to come back to live. We really wanted to make sure that experience was improved versus other years. We are all about connections. ICE is the facilitator of bringing the industry together, and if we can help in any way, either speed up or harness or improve connections, whether it's an ad hoc connection, you bump into someone on the boulevard of Excel, or whether it's pre-planned, we want to help where we can. So we introduced some new tech called My Ice, which allows you to set up some meetings in advance, so you can start networking, almost like I guess the example you might say is sort of like a mini LinkedIn type setup, where you can kind of search for other attendees that are there. You can set up pre-meetings, you can start conversations, and just easier for you to manage your diary. So hopefully that week experience you've got, week-long experience you've got during ICE enables you to kind of have those connections. So that's something that we've invested in even more this year. So you'll be able to go around the show with that app and connect company information just by scanning QR codes. So there's lots of tech there that we'll start to publish that very soon. We don't want to bump our people too early, but all of that tech's coming. We launched our hosted campaign as well, which happened in April, which enables us to reach out to customers and buyers that ordinarily probably wouldn't be able to attend ICE, but are genuine customers. So that's helping bring new experiences and new customers and buyers and everything into ICE, which that's going on full force as well. We have our ICE 365 new studio. We partnered with IAG on that in April, which was great. We had some live broadcasts coming from Asia with Andrew, which was great on some of the mornings. So that's taking a step up again, and that is our editorial heartbeat of ICE. It allows customers that are either in and around ICE but not on the show floor, or not able to travel to ICE, to get an ICE experience, certainly editorially, certainly kind of seeing some product launches and seeing some interviews. And certainly when you're at ICE, it creates that media heartbeat. So there's a huge amount of innovation that we put in, all that we hope will improve what historically has always been a great experience. Really, the satisfaction levels on ICE have been really solid, and I think it's been a great product for many years. So we just tried to put a little icing on the cake this time.
And I should point out that IAG, myself and Andrew will be on in the ICE 365 studio in February, live this year, in person this year.
Yeah, which is great.
So definitely looking forward to that, to talk about the latest happenings in Asia. I mean, obviously, Stuart, ICE was born as a European show, but it's become a truly international show over the years. I mean, to what extent have you seen an increase in global international participation over the years?
So that's the most interesting thing at the moment, because obviously there's a lot of data behind when you start registration for a show like ICE. You can see patterns, you can see trends, there's a certain level of expectations. I guess after the last 3 years and after running a show in April, we've kind of almost sort of thrown the rule book away a little bit in terms of what we expect, because we're almost starting a new trend. But I guess the most pleasing thing for us to see on registration since we've been live, which has probably been maybe 3 or 4 weeks, I guess, is that we are getting a hugely varied split of attendees globally. I was always sort of not sure of whether we would see the certain level of countries coming back this year, but we're definitely seeing that. I think there's over 158 countries at the moment where we've got registrations from. So still, obviously, the bigger percentages are European based, but the US is growing hugely, which is exciting. Asia's coming back as well, which is great, considering all the travel challenges still that sit around Asia. But all the other countries that make that international feel of ICE, certainly including South America as well, is certainly probably ahead of where we expected or hoped it might be. So for sure, everything on today's registration says it's truly international. So that's really exciting. That's one of those stats that we are most pleased at. Everyone gets fixated with the volume, but ICE is, it's great to have a large contingent of attendees there. But for us, it's about the quality and making sure that mix of attendees is wide. So yeah, truly international as it stands today, and I could only assume that's going to grow as we get to February.
For our viewers here in Asia who may not have been to ICE before, or might have been a few years before that since they've been there, what benefits would you say ICE provides to people from Asia or further abroad even?
I just think I don't think there's too many events like it. Certainly nothing like it in size and scale. But it's just pumped full of ideas, full of inspiration, full of solutions to solve any problems that you might have, solutions to help you with any opportunities you might be thinking about. And pretty much anyone in the gaming industry is in London that week. So I think if you put all those ingredients together, whether you're an established business or whether you're a small business scaling up, I think it's the place where you can generate the next stage of your development, either personally through kind of some of our education programs, or either professionally as part of a wider business in terms of securing new suppliers, partners, products, services, etc. So, as you said at the opening, it is untouchable in the sense of its broadest spectrum. So there isn't anywhere that has the widest collection of products and services and people and education. So really, it's kind of the mothership in that respect of where you need to be. Really, I think if you're in gaming and you're interested in furthering your company, your career, I think it's non-negotiable that you try and get to ICE. And we understand, traveling right now is still a challenge, and it can be costly. So for those that can't make the trip, we'll try and support them in many ways we can through editorial and giving them that opportunity. But if you can make it to ICE, you'll definitely be richly rewarded.
Of course, conversely, we also know that a lot of European companies are looking at Asia. It's a massive market, a lot of opportunities there. How important is it for a lot of the European companies that attend ICE to see that Asian presence there as well and to make those connections?
Yeah, absolutely. We pride ourselves in being really customer centric. So whether that's from our attendee base or whether our exhibitor base, and I think all of our exhibitors have a dedicated account manager that they've built a relationship with, hopefully over a long period of time. And we try and really get under the skin of those businesses to really better understand what their wants and needs are of ICE. It's lazy event organizing if you just rely on a brand and open up a registration and just hope that it happens. We need to get under the skin, and we really work with our customers to make sure that we're matching the right buyers and sellers. ICE is the oldest form of trading, really. It's market trading has been operating for thousands and thousands of years globally. It's the way people trade and come together, and ICE is a more contemporary version of that. So if we can work with both parties to make sure that there is absolutely everything that they need from a buyer's perspective, but we match those sellers correctly, then good things are going to happen. So all of our exhibitors have different ambitions, in all honesty, which makes it really exciting. So for sure, there are a huge volume of our supplier base that are looking for that Asian market, and they use ICE as that platform. So for sure, we warmly welcome any of our gaming global professionals from Asia to come and attend ICE, because I think they're definitely going to meet with new suppliers that have got a great interest in that region. So I think that's something we're really pleased to see.
And just lastly, Stuart, I know that Clarion Gaming through the ICE brand was expanding across the world pre-COVID. I know ICE Asia was planned for 2020, obviously North America. I guess COVID sort of forced Clarion to sort of withdraw back to Europe temporarily. Are there plans to expand again in the future? Will we see the ICE brand globally again sometime in the future?
It's a really good question. I think and it wasn't just COVID in some respects, but COVID was certainly the vehicle that sped up that decision. But I think obviously there was a strategy at a certain period of time with the ICE brand to sort of pick up an elements of it and plant it in different geographical locations. I would say as a business that provides some opportunities, but it's also quite challenging. In fact, it's very challenging. And I guess the observation was that from a team perspective, actually, if we could focus more on our energy and effort with our large main work with these third parties to generate more attendees from those regions, then certainly with COVID and the issues of travel, that would give us the best opportunity to ensure that ICE truly remains an international product. So that's where we're putting our energy and our effort. Will we look to return to a strategy in the future where we do more mobile events? I would say it's not in our thinking today, but as we explore and new territories open up and new opportunities arise, and if the industry wants it and our customers want it, and we think it's viable, then for sure it may be something we explore again. But for right now, it's about bringing the international community to ICE London and giving them that great opportunity.
All right, thanks, Stuart. I've got to say, I'm definitely looking forward to finally, after 3 years, getting back to Ice London in February. It feels like an eternity. I mean, 3 years is a long time. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing it. And I recommend all of our viewers, if you have not been to Ice, I'm sure many of you have, but definitely make the effort there. It's a great show. It's a show that cannot be missed. So, Stuart, I'll see you in February. And thanks for joining me. And to all our viewers, I hope to see you in London as well.